This video covers installation of a Strutmasters front suspension conversion system for 2005 to 2009 Land Rover LR3 vehicles. And we'll get started with this front installation by removing the front wheel to gain access to one of the front air struts. Strutmasters always recommends the use of an approved lifting device and that you follow all safety precautions. We appreciate you choosing Strutmasters. We're always cooking up something new. Like us on Facebook to see our latest videos, news, and information. Next, you'll locate the Airline on top of the strut. It's just above the rubber cover, and you can use a pair of wire cutters to snip the Airline in two. This will bleed out all the air in the system and make it much easier to remove the unit. Next, you're going to need a 24mm socket and a 21mm wrench to remove the bottom strut bolt that runs through the lower control arm. If you have a vehicle that's been in the rust belt, it might take you a minute to break loose those bolts, but be patient, they'll eventually come off. Just like you see our technician here, you can give it a few taps with a hammer to help it slide through. Once we've got it out, we'll go up top next to the strut tower. And we're going to remove 2 of the 3 top strut bolts with the 15mm socket or wrench. We'll take out 2 and just loosen the third one until we're ready to completely remove the strut. We're glad you chose Strutmasters. Our coil springs are made exclusively for us from the best quality steel right here in the USA. And we're glad you're keeping Americans working. Remember the last one, we just want to loosen it and leave it in place for now. Now you'll want to support the bottom of the strut with one hand as you loosen the final strut nut with the other. Once it's loose, you'll want to lower the strut just a bit and then pull the top towards you and carefully pull the strut completely out. Now take a look at that old one. And now we'll get our brand new fully assembled Strutmasters unit and prepare to install it. Not only will it ride great, it sure looks a lot better too. First, we're going to go to the bottom and cut the zip tie from the bottom of the strut, and we'll remove the washer, leaving the sleeve in place. Be sure to push that sleeve back in there. We'll need that when we put the strut on in a moment. Now at the top, you'll take off the strut nuts and make sure to keep one close by. We'll need it in just a moment. Now watch as our technician identifies the king stud. It should be the one furthest away in the triangle, and it should go in towards the engine. As you're putting in the strut, you'll line up the studs into the bolt holes. And once it's in place, we'll just put one strut nut on for now to hold it there. Now back to the bottom of the strut, where we'll insert the lower strut bolt and washer in the place, and we'll tighten them using the same 21mm wrench and 21mm socket from earlier. You can watch our technician to see where to put the washer in place. Little tap of the hammer gets things all lined up, and there goes the bolt. Unless it's excessively rusty, you can simply reuse the bolts and nuts. Now, returning to the top of the strut, we'll install the last two strut mounting nuts and securely tighten all three with a 15mm socket or wrench. If you decide to let a shop do this but don't know which one to choose, ask one of our suspension experts when you call us at 866-597-2397. Because it was a little tight quarters on one of the nuts, our technician found that both a socket and a wrench was handy for this application. If you're watching this video trying to decide whether you want to tackle this on your own, Strutmasters can help. We have our tech line at 866-998-8737, where our customers have access to a real ASE certified mechanic. We'll send you good detailed instructions, but if you or your installer do hit a snag during installation, just give us a call so we can help. Now that everything's all tight, we can prepare to reattach the front wheel and safely lower the vehicle to the ground. If you need to make a purchase, call 866-597-2397 to speak to one of our ASE certified technicians. Give us a call at 866-998-8737. Thanks for choosing Strutmasters.com.